The United Nations Organization. In this module, you will explore the United Nations formation, objectives, and its members. Alicia is sitting in the drawing room and watching TV with her mom. Hey Alicia, look there. The Prime Minister of India is giving a speech at the United Nations.
United Nations? What's that?
The United Nations is an international organization. It is also known as the UNO, United Nations Organization, or simply the UN. It was formed on 24th October 1945. Its headquarters is located in New York, the United States of America.
But why was it formed, Mom?
To understand the reason, you have to be aware of those circumstances that led to its formation. The Second World War took place from 1939 to 1945 CE. In this war, almost all the big nations of the world were involved. Millions of people died in this war, and it caused huge economic loss to the nations. To prevent such incidents again, the world community thought of creating a powerful and globally acceptable organization. As a result, the UN was formed to maintain peace and security in the world.
Oh, I got it. But what does it do to ensure peace and security in the world?
The United Nations performs its functions with the help of various organs and specialized agencies. Let me explain you the main objectives of the UN. The objectives of the United Nations are to develop friendly relations among nations on the basis of equality, to achieve international cooperation in solving problems, to promote human rights and fundamental freedom for the people of the world, to save future generations from war.
These are quite ambitious objectives. Does our country also play its role to achieve these objectives?
Yes, India is its member since the beginning. India joined the UNO just after 6 days of its formation, that is, on 30th October 1945. That's why we saw that the Prime Minister of India is giving his speech at its headquarters in New York. You'll be surprised to know, in 1945, there were just 51 member countries of the United Nations. But now, the number has risen to 193. Did you understand it?
Yes, Mom. I understand now that the United Nations was established on 24th October 1945. Its main objective is to prevent wars and to solve conflicts peacefully. It tries to ensure peace and security across the world. It works with the help of various specialized agencies for human development. It has 193 members.
Let's recap. UNO stands for United Nations Organization. It was formed on 24th October 1945. Its headquarters is located at New York. It has 193 member countries that include India. Its main objective is to maintain peace and security in the world. Organs of the United Nations and their functions. In this module, you will identify the organs of the United Nations and their functions. Alicia and her mom are watching news. The news anchor is using the terms the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council more often. Alicia is puzzled because she is not familiar with these terms. Let's see what she learns about these terms from her mom.
Mom, I have never heard about the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council before. I cannot understand what the news anchor is talking about. Can you please explain it to me?
I'm happy, Alicia. You are listening to news carefully and you're also curious to learn about new things. I'll tell you about these terms. The United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council are the two organs of the United Nations. Apart from these two, there are three more organs. So, in total, there are 5 main organs of the United Nations. These are General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, International Court of Justice, ICJ, the Secretariat. Let me explain to you about these 5 organs of the United Nations one by one. The first is General Assembly. It is the main body of the United Nations. Each country sends one delegate or representative to the General Assembly. From among the delegates, one is chosen as the president. Its main task is to discuss and find solution of international problems. Next, we have the Security Council. It consists of total 15 members. Out of the 15, 5 are permanent members, while 10 are temporary members. The 5 permanent members are the USA, Russia, France, China, and United Kingdom. The main objective of the Security Council is to maintain peace and security in the world. Now, we'll look at the Economic and Social Council or the ECOSOC. It consists of 18 members. Its main task is to fulfill economic and social objectives of the United Nations. The objectives of the ECOSOC are related to education, health, etc. Another organ of the United Nations is the International Court of Justice. It has 15 judges which belong to different nations. Its main function is to settle legal disputes among member nations. Its headquarters, also known as the Peace Palace, is in The Hague, the Netherlands. The last one is the Secretariat. The day-to-day functions of the United Nations are carried out by the Secretariat. It is based in New York, the United States. The United Nations Secretariat is headed by a Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly for a term of 5 years. At present, the Secretary General is Antonio Guterres. Let's recap. The United Nations has 5 major organs. These organs are General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, International Court of Justice, Secretariat. The General Assembly discusses and finds solution for global issues. The Security Council aims to maintain global peace and security. The Economic and Social Council ensures socio-economic well-being of the nations. The International Court of Justice settles legal disputes. The Secretariat performs the day-to-day functions of the UN. Specialized agencies of the United Nations. In this module, you will observe various specialized agencies of the United Nations. Sophie has to make a poster for the United Nations Day celebration to be organized in her school. She is searching for information on the internet for her poster. It seems she has found a video. Let's see what she is looking at.
Hooray! I found it! This video will help me in making my poster for the UN Day celebration.
In this video, you will learn about various specialized UN agencies. Specialized agencies of the UN are Unesco, Unicef, WHO, IMF, ILO, and FAO. Let's learn first about UNESCO. UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. It aims to promote international cooperation in education, science, and culture. It also preserves cultural heritage sites. Its headquarters is in Paris, France. The next specialized agency of the UN is UNICEF. UNICEF stands for United Nations Children's Fund. It aims at improving children's lives by providing them health and educational facilities. It focuses particularly on those children who are in trouble because of poverty, war, and disasters. Its headquarters is in New York, the United States of America. Now, we will learn about WHO. WHO stands for World Health Organization. Its main focus is to fight against the outbreak of epidemics. Its focus is particularly on developing countries where diseases such as polio, malaria, and tuberculosis affect millions of people. Its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. Let's move on to IMF. IMF stands for International Monetary Fund. It helps its member countries by providing loan for long durations. It also provides assistance to solve national and international economic problems. Its headquarters is in Washington, D.C., United States. The next specialized agency is ILO. ILO refers to International Labour Organization. It focuses on the welfare of laborers across the world. It spreads awareness among employees and laborers about their rights. It also asks government of nations to make laws for the welfare of laborers. Its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. And the last one is FAO. FAO stands for Food and Agriculture Organization. It aims to wipe out hunger from the world by means of increasing food production. It promotes scientific research to improve the quality and quantity of crops. Its headquarters is in Rome, Italy.
That's a great video. I'll include this information in my poster as a mind map. I'm sure everybody will like my poster.
Specialized agencies of the United Nations. Unesco, Unicef, WHO, IMF, ILO, and FAO. Let's recap. Specialized UN agencies are UNICEF, UNESCO, WHO, IMF, ILO, and FAO. UNICEF stands for United Nations Children's Fund. UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. WHO stands for World Health Organization. IMF stands for International Monetary Fund. ILO stands for International Labour Organization. FAO stands for Food and Agriculture Organization. India and the United Nations. In this module, you will understand India's relationship with the United Nations and identify Indian personalities who played a key role at the United Nations. Today, Alicia is giving a speech in her school assembly. The topic is India and the United Nations. Let's see what she is talking about.
Dear friends, today is 30th October. This day is very important for India and the United Nations. because on this day in 1945, India joined the United Nations. India is one of the founder members of the United Nations. Since then, India has been an active member of the organization. Now, I'll share with you different aspects of India-UN relationship. Let me begin with India's contribution to the UN's peacekeeping missions in many countries, such as Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Cyprus. Peacekeeping missions are meant for establishing peace and security by deployment of military forces in a disturbed area. India became free in 1947, but at that time, many nations in the world were not free. India, along with the United Nations, helped these countries achieve freedom. India and UN share common ideals of humanitarian assistance. Therefore, India sends medical aid and disaster relief facilities whenever any country requires it. Let's move to another aspect of the relationship between India and the United Nations. Many Indians have played significant roles at the United Nations. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was the first woman president of the United Nations General Assembly. Another personality was Dr. Nagendra Singh, who served as the president of the International Court of Justice. Next important Indian figure is Hardeep Puri. He served as the chairperson of the Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee from 2011 to 2012. Recently, the United Nations also declared 21st June as the International Yoga Day. It shows the rising stature of India at the UN. Thus, India has been an important contributor to the United Nations mission of promoting world peace and security. I would like to conclude my speech with the observation that India and the United Nations both have been working for world peace and security.
Let's recap. India is one of the founder members of the United Nations. India shares common ideals of world peace and security with the UN. India sends humanitarian assistance to the countries in need. Many Indians have played key roles at the UN. On India's proposal, UN declared 21st June as the International Yoga Day.
Achievements of the United Nations. In this module, you will analyze the achievements of the United Nations. Alicia is very excited to know that the United Nations has announced a special scheme for kids on its Foundation Day on 24th October. Let's see what is the scheme and why is Alicia so excited.
Alicia, you are looking so excited. What's the matter?
Mom, the United Nations has announced a special scheme for school students. As per their scheme, I'm required to write a composition on the achievements of the United Nations.
That sounds nice. But why are you so excited?
I'm excited because if my composition is selected, I'll get a very special t-shirt with the UN logo. It would be a matter of great pride for me.
That's great. You should write a good composition on the achievements of the UN. If you need my help, do let me know.
Sure, Mom. Let me write it myself first. I'll take your help if I need it. Mom, I have written my composition.
You have done it very fast. That's fantastic. I would like to listen to that. Tell me, what have you written?
The most important achievement of the United Nations is that it has been successful in preventing another world war after the First and the Second World Wars. The UN has been successful in eliminating major diseases such as smallpox, polio, etc. Most of the regions in the world are now free from these diseases. The United Nations has been doing an excellent job in creating awareness about climatic changes and global warming. Now the world recognizes the need to preserve our Mother Earth. The UN has also helped the nations solve their disputes. Although it could not resolve all the conflicts, but in most cases, it has helped in preventing major wars between the nations. It has also helped the nations during disasters and calamities. It provides medical aid and food supplies during the difficult times. The UN has also started many programs for child development and women welfare.
These are good points. You should send your composition as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mom.
Let's recap. The UN has been successful to a great extent in the following areas: preventing the Third World War, eradicating diseases such as smallpox, polio, etc., creating awareness about climatic changes, helping the nations solve their disputes, providing medical aid and food supplies during calamities and disasters, welfare programs for women and children,